right, welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show. It's a brand new week. Happy Tuesday, everyone, and happy home opener was yesterday in Baltimore. It was a day. We'll talk about all that and more, but we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. Well, Maryland just hired a coach, new coach, after Kevin Willard left. We will talk about it. Buzz Williams coming from Texas A&M to College Park. We'll get into that after our two guests. And our first guest that we're lining up at 3 p.m., he's back in Baltimore, but he's also here to talk about what he does with Big League Impact and around the community. Kyle Gibson's going to join us in about 15 minutes. And then the Baltimore product, friend of the show, friend of the program, friend of Ryan Ripken, obviously, for a very long time. Holy Sheets, Gavin Sheets, and the Padres off to a hot start. And maybe get his opinion as well as Kyle's on this whole torpedo bat situation. That's been really the craze around baseball. And we got a first taste of Tomoyuki Sagano up in Toronto. I'm breaking that down for all of you guys today. And when I move, you move. Just like that. And in studio moving with us, besides Mr. Ollie Pup, we got Kevin Oyster Striker.
What's going on? Hopefully better Tuesdays than last week for me.
I hope so. It's a better Tuesday. I don't know if everyone knows that story. We can have story time with Kevin after this. But he's
still recovering from that. But you know what? It's a new Tuesday.
New Tuesday.
We're bringing that energy to this Tuesday, Kevin. We're trying to leave that in the past. It's a new Tuesday.
New Tuesday.
Zach, how we doing?
Just happy to be here. Just, fired up. Going to be a fun show. I'm excited to talk to these guys. It's always good when we have, I feel like, these jam-packed shows with all these guests. These are the fun ones.
Yeah, it's a good opening day win. Baltimore opening day win. I didn't get down to Pickles in time to escape the 5-hour line that was
That line was ridiculous.
It was popping. And I know we're biased. We're from the Baltimore area, but I truly do believe that Baltimore does it as well as anybody around the whole country when it comes to opening day. Pickles was bopping. I mean, that was probably the most packed I had seen Pickles. Even last year's opening day seemed like it was trumped by this year's.
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful out. You had 80 and sunny the entire day. Just felt perfect. It was funny. They were getting so much. The Orioles, I felt like, were getting so much shit online for moving the game up only 30 minutes. People are like, what's 30 minutes going to do? Like, what is these extra 30 minutes going to do? I swear, walking out of the stadium, that's when it started drizzling. Like 10 minutes after you started walking out, and you're like, oh, maybe they knew what they were doing. Maybe they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I guess I avoided all that rain, to be honest. I don't know. I saw you guys got a little video in outside the stadium or in the stadium for Kevin and Zach.
Yeah,
Reacts.
it
was. Everyone found out that there's a height difference.
Well, there were some very kind comments about our height difference, because usually those are members, but it was actually very funny that Zach made it non-members for this one, because
I didn't mean to.
I know. It was funny. It was not anything bad that happened, but so people were glad that Zach brought his kid to work. Kevin looked 16. All stuff I've heard before. You got to do better than that to rattle me, and you can't rattle. It's funny to me.
You don't get rattled?
No.
What about working out? Do you get tired?
I guess if
how about this, Kevin? Why don't you go grab that kettlebell, 45 pounds? See if you get tired.
Isn't that Thursdays? I'm gonna do that on Thursdays.
Go get the kettlebell, Kevin.
Okay.
Right now. It's a great way to warm us up for the week.
You make the workout segments be when I'm here, but then I can't be here for the cooking segments.
Yeah. Because Kevin, it's all about
cutting.
It's cutting season for you, Kevin, obviously. And for all of you out there, if you guys haven't figured out, our last show, we presented our new sponsor and Merit Clubs around Maryland. And I'm going to get that photo up there. Zach, watch this. How over or under? Over 5 seconds?
Yeah, well, it's just
5 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. Bam! Merit Clubs, we are proudly sponsored with them. And it's a great situation here because we're going to be having some fitness moments. Heck, we're going to have code words in the future with, if we say during our show, we're going to have a wheel and you're going to have to do that exercise. So I just thought it'd be a good opportunity to bring Kevin over here to show us what it's all about. And look, Merit is allowing us the opportunity, fellas, where we can give away a 30-day membership up until April 15th. So the next 2 weeks, you can get 30 days free membership at any Merit Club. Just saying, that sounds good. Kevin, how you feeling about this?
I brought both.
He brought both.
I don't think you can lift both at the same time.
Oh,
Okay. That was impressive. Yeah, let's zoom out on Kevin for a second.
Oh, did you not even see it? You didn't even see it?
Oh, we can see it now with Ollie. Wow, this is...
Workout. He's my spotter.
So the beauty of this is, hey, we're all trying to look our best self for this year. And again, for Merit Clubs, we are allowing that. I'm going to get the link for you guys. But Kevin, since you said you don't get tired, how about you give me just 15 squats before we start our show?
35 squats. Okay, sorry, I got excited.
15 just one of them, Kevin.
Just one of them. Don't
You
don't
can.
hurt
I'll be
yourself.
honest. I don't think you can pick up both.
He just
Zach had me doing a whole workout yesterday.
okay, Kevin. We walked to Fed Hill.
Kevin,
It was
while
not a-
people can watch this
it's
as we
not
welcome them into our show, so continue on here. You're going to give me 15 squats so I can get the link to show everybody of what we got going on here.
Yep.
That's all it is.
You can see me?
Yep.
Don't you worry. Yeah, don't step on my pup. One, two,
2,
3, 4, 5. Sit. Yeah, baby. That's my
Kevin, don't
pup.
let him.
Hey, focus. It's all about your attention. 5, 6,
Kevin, that's the word for your knees.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Oh my God, Kevin.
13,
Oh my God.
14, and 15.
Oh my gosh, Kevin, I thought your knees were gonna just pop at any moment there.
You know, so Kevin, now sit back down for 1 second. Are you tired?
No.
Okay. Kevin's not tired, but
Woo!
we are committed this year during baseball season. We are getting fit, and we got a lot of different ways that we can do that. But we're going to have fun with it. And I just put the link in here for the show. You click on that link and use the code RIP25, just all lowercase, RIP and the number 25. 30 days you can sign up for a free membership
Yeah.
at Merit.
Let me tell you, Alyssa and I actually went to the Merit over in Towson and toured it. It is a nice place. You got a lot to do. They have a I'm not tired.
You're not tired though.
They have a like cardio cinema. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Where you can literally, they have a big movie screen and they have a bunch of treadmills, cardio equipment. They have it hooked up to like Netflix or whatever over at the place we went. And they you're watching a show, want to run on the treadmill at the Merit, you can hook it up.
I think, Kevin's not tired at all, not winded
No.
at all. But hey, appreciate our friends over at Merit Club. So much going on this year. We'll bring it up again later, but RIP25 for the code. And guys, as we get ready for our guest, let's talk about this now. This first week of baseball is kind of in the books. The home opener for Baltimore was electric. And actually, shout out Deep Eddie again. These shirts, which, where's on the side? Hey,
Deep
now. I got to say, these turned out well. Zach, you were throwing these things around at Pickles. The vibes were immaculate. And for our Holy Shirts and Pants members, appreciate you guys. I sent out a message last night. So those that have sent me an email, thank you. I am going to have the responses. And you guys, for all the support, those are fine shirts. They're coming to you as the priority, and we'll work on these Deep Eddie ones. But thank you to our Holy Shirts and Pants members. If you'd like to be a Holy Shirts and Pants member, click that subscribe button. Really, that helps make our show go. And we know everyone's excited about baseball season, Zach. And for, I think, the headlines of this week, the biggest headline to start off was around the torpedo bats, which I actually have a bat that I think would classify as a torpedo bat. Did I tell you this yesterday?
No.
So we could dive into this, but we're seeing so many different reactions. We saw the reaction from the Brewers. The Brewers had some strong feelings about it. And then Matt Strahm actually just had a tweet out there recently saying, and I quote, Matt Strahm, pitcher for the Phillies, let them use whatever bat they want. Let's just allow pitchers to use whatever hitters have in the on-deck circles, talking about the pine tar or sticky substance, and not check us like we are criminals every time we walk on or off the field. I'm just a pitcher, but I'm assuming better grip helps you swing harder. So, look, I think now, I mean, we could talk about this, and we're going to ask our guests about it. It's sweeping the nation. Now, we know that the design for the bat, specifically the torpedo models, and I quote, his name is Aaron Lanehart, Miami Marlins field coordinator, was where it started.
Yeah.
And we could go so many different ways, but the reason why is because some of these numbers and some of these players, it's getting all the phase. And for those that don't know what a torpedo bat is, essentially they're taking the wood and making it harder in one specific area, all part of the same bat. They're not changing different pieces. It's all one piece of wood, but it's more dense in a certain area. And they're saying for the Yankees that there's a certain part of their bats that they were using where the hitters usually make more contact. The denser part, ball gets traveling further. Now, guys, I think it's too early to get into all that, right? It's only 5 games in for most teams. So we got a lot to talk about. And I even saw people throwing out there the allegations around, the comparisons to when people use steroids, you still have to hit. There's so many different conversation and ways that we can go. But that was a headline that was all over baseball. But guys, are you aware of how many different types of bats you can have?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot, right? Models, types of models, meaning is it a skinnier barrel? Is it a thicker barrel? Is it a more balanced bat, top heavy bat? Kevin, do you like birch? Do you like maple? How about ash? Right? So there's different bats and models that have been out for a long period of time.
Yep.
And so I wanted to explain this, and I'm actually going to find the bat when I go home. I got 2 different versions of the same model. Okay. It's called a C353 is the model. I think it was the Ryan Zimmerman model, if I'm not mistaken. Huge barrel, flared knob, but it's a little bit more of a balanced bat. Okay. I got an ash version and I got a maple version. The ash version, the barrel was massive. The maple version was almost like that kind of softball torpedo-esque bat. And I go, man, this thing just feels harder. And if you hit it where it exactly goes, it feels like it's going to come off the same. But there was a little downside. It can be less forgiving if you don't hit it there. So I think this is what I want to watch right now. But obviously, guys that are using the bat, do we have the number of players that are using it right now, Zach?
I'm not sure the exact number of players.
But there's been some stats out there, guys.
There's a list.
Yeah, we got I know yesterday Ellie De La Cruz went 4 for 5 with 2 homers.
And I mean, he's just a damn good player.
Well, there's a list apparently. It's obviously Adley, Alec Boehm, Volpe, Wells, Bellinger, Chisholm, Goldschmidt, Dansby Swanson, De La Cruz, and Jose Trevino over in Cincinnati. Lindor with the Mets, O'Neal Cruz in Pittsburgh, Manny, Max Muncy, Ryan Jeffers. So new names seemingly getting added. Apparently was Alex Bregman now has one. He announced it.
Yeah.
He just got one, didn't he?
Yeah, and then here is just a quick kind of just to show the difference in bats right now. I got this.
Dude, I swear I had
Ryan
one of
bat.
those. I swear I've had one of those. It just wasn't called a torpedo bat, and I sure as heck didn't use it to my best abilities.
Did you just like kind of brush it off as like this is just another bat?
It was just a different model and a different style.
Yeah.
But there is a science behind things, right? There's always a method to the madness. And you know what? If it works and it's in regulations, that's all that matters. But I think a small sample size of 5 or 6 games, let's pump the brakes here.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes for a course of a season. We can dive into all that and so much more over time as we have, guys, we still have 5 months left of the baseball season.
Long way to
Five
go.
and a half, 6 months.
Long way to go.
Baseball is back. We just mentioned Orioles just had their season opener in Baltimore yesterday, beating the Boston Red Sox to improve to 3-2. The vibes were immaculate, and it feels like the team is in a position where they're ready to continue on. And I got to tell you what, maybe it's just because our guest that we had on before here, and I guess we can tell our live viewers, we were hanging out with Jim Palmer, and I told Jim, we were saying, hey, we're actually getting to talk to a guy that I'm excited to speak to, and I know you speak highly of, and he goes, Ryan, you are going to love him. He goes, I met a lot of players. He's one of the best. So without further ado, because he's got a lot of things going on besides, getting ready for the big league season. But let's bring on Oriole pitcher Kyle Gibson. Kyle, you there?
Hey, what's going on, Ryan? How are you?
I'm good. I don't think I had a chance to really meet you in the prior years, but nice to formally meet you. And Jim was singing your praises, man. He's
wow.
Yeah, he says you are the nicest guy, and Dean Kramer and Kyle Bradish, two of my friends, they said you're okay as well.
Yeah, those two guys, there's something. I wouldn't expect anything else from them. But man, what a compliment from Jim. It was so much fun talking to him, and whether it's pitching or just life in general. So much fun talking to him a little bit in 23, and wow, what a compliment from him. I appreciate that.
Of course. And well, the first things first, because this kind of goes into the MO, obviously baseball career. We can talk about all of that later on, but specifically, I love what you're doing off the field. And for those that don't know, do you mind running through specifically what you're working on with Big League Impact for those that don't know about what you and many others are helping in the communities?
Yeah, sure. So Adam Wainwright and his brother back in 2014 started Big League Impact, mainly out of an idea of playing fantasy football with fans, giving them a chance to get to the field, compete in fantasy football, which so many millions of people enjoy, but to do it a little different, do it to have an impact together for a bigger initiative. And it's something that has grown over the last, going into its 11th season now. Now that Adam is retired, I've been vice president of Big League Impact now for, coming up on 7 years, 6 or 7 years, and learning from him, his dream and his vision, and trying to figure out how I can help carry it on here has been a lot of fun. And now we do a lot of different things. Obviously, Adam has moved on to singing, so we have something that we're going to launch this year, Big League Bash. It's going to be a concert in St. Louis that he's going to headline. We have something called Mission 318, excuse me, which is a community service opportunity in every big league city. If you get a hold of someone from Big League Impact, which, I can get that information to anybody, any player that wants it. But if you get a hold of somebody from Big League Impact, they can set up the community service opportunity in any big league city that you're going to. They can basically set up where to be, when to be there, what you're going to be doing. And if you want to get out of the hotel on the road or at home, you just go and serve for an hour and a half, for an hour, whatever you want to do. Mission 318 has been something that Adam tried to come up with and laid the vision for in the last couple of years has really taken off. I don't have the number of community service hours and the players in front of me, but it's I don't know, at least probably 10 or 12 teams have been involved in it somehow, with 40 plus players and staff. That number is probably very low, but I don't want to overshoot it. But it's just a really, really cool opportunity that's kind of gained some traction. It's been a lot of fun to be a part of. In some cities we do Top Golf events, and then fantasy football has been our main fantasy or main charity event now for a long time, like I said, and even really kind of just trying to dip into and tap into whatever players are passionate about. If you're a Major League Baseball player out there and somehow you hear about this and you want to do some charity work, reach out to us at Big League Impact, and our goal is to help broaden your reach, broaden your voice, and to make your vision come to life. So if you have a charity event in mind, our goal is to help you make that better. And it's been, something that Adam has been very successful with, and Elizabeth and I, my wife, we've been able to, take to every city we've been, and do something and really dive into that community and try to have a big league impact or an impact on each city that we've been fortunate to play in.
I mean, and that's what it's all about, is trying to have an impact for others. And I love the fact that you're saying with players of what they're passionate about. And also, I mean, Kyle, I grew up around a baseball family, and being, some people, there's lives outside of that. And there's a lot of things that people are passionate about, those players, and they want to make those impacts and make people feel connected. And right there, I got the correct link now, by the way. I typed in the wrong one. Don't worry about the one I put in before, but there it is, bigleagueimpact.org/allwinbaltimore. And you mentioned the Topgolf event. You did that previously, right, in 2023.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
And so then is there anything that you're cooking up for the time, or we'll save that for a day?
No, so that all-win campaign with Eflin, Westberg, maybe Cedric, I can't remember. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but we'll be doing that all-win campaign all year. Fans can go to that and donate to that. There's going to be charities locally in Baltimore that benefit, and then also back home probably for each of those players as well, which is cool for me. Elizabeth and I, we've been living in just west of St. Louis for a while now. She grew up there, so we've been able to dive into that community. But it's so much fun to find charities in each community that we've played in to really support as well. And hopefully that brings a little bit more personal touch to Orioles fans. But I would love to do another Topgolf. I think that was a lot of fun in 2023. We had, I don't know, almost everybody on the team show up, which was incredibly cool. Being my first year in Baltimore, and for everybody to dive in and do that. So I would love to do that again. Fantasy football is always something that's fun. So I would love to do those two things. And then, in the off season, we do a couple of things back in St. Louis. But like I said, any of these guys that want to do anything, hopefully the goal would be, allow them to see the groundwork that Big League Impact is able to lay. There's so many times that we feel like maybe we don't have time to do the charity work because we do have a job, right? We need to win. We need to go play well and perform. But Big League Impact has done a great job of trying to make this as easy on the player as possible by building these connections with Topgolf and different charities or different businesses, and hopefully being able to make these events not cookie cutter, because that kind of cheapens it, but kind of turnkey. Bring yourself, bring your significant other, and some of your teammates will follow, and it'll be a fun time.
I mean, that's what it's all about. You're bringing the people together in the community, and I love what you're doing. And I remember a lot of those guys that went to the event back in 23 Topgolf. It was a great moment. It's a great way, again, to continue to build and bring people together. And Kyle, that's why I'm so glad you're back in Baltimore. Well, not yet, but I'm so glad you're back, because but I'm serious. The connections, you were one of the guys that came in and instantly connected with a city. I don't know if you knew that, by the way. Like, everyone talked. It felt like you've been in Baltimore your entire career, which you haven't. And I'm glad you decided. I see out there that you were thinking about possibly contemplating being done and retiring.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when most of the offers were minor league offers, and with 4 kids, and being basically back home for a year and a half straight, since October of 23, and then playing in St. Louis, being 40 miles from the house, they're really, unless it was a Midwest opportunity that, kind of blew our socks off, I was very content with where I was to be a dad and to be a husband and kind of dive into that. And, we had heard from the Orioles. They were one of the teams that outside the Midwest that was obviously very appealing to us. We really enjoyed our time in Baltimore. I know the guys in the clubhouse, most of them. So I kind of knew that joining that clubhouse late wouldn't be an issue, hopefully. So when they called, it kind of, lit a little bit of excitement in me. And, it was probably about 7 days in between the contacts. So I kind of thought, well, okay, well, maybe they had moved on and that opportunity wasn't going to be there. So, I think once you have that excitement and then it kind of goes away, I think that's kind of those 2 weeks there where, it was getting deep into spring training. And I kind of, because I was content with the career I've had and where I was personally, I was kind of like, hey, if that was it, then that was it. And it was going to take an opportunity like Baltimore or something special to take me away from my family for another year and to see where it can take us. But I've always been super thankful for the places we've gotten to play and the opportunities to play, and trying to not take that for granted to, hopefully have a uniform on my back here in about a month and be ready.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, you got exposed then to having a chance to go and play near home. It's such a outlier. I was very fortunate, Calvin, which we don't see that very often, but he's from Maryland, and then he played for the Orioles for a long time. And we happened to be in the same place. We just saw with Corbin Burns this past offseason, he gets to choose to go be where his family is, right? So I'm sure it was nice to be able to be there, but at least you're going to a place of familiarity. It sounds like you're ramping up well, and you're joining a group that well. I mean, it seems like it's a great match. What is something that you, I guess maybe are looking the most forward to getting back on the bump here, as you're in a different stage of your life, is what you said. And that's kind of like goes in with the big league impact in general. You're in a different stage, but on the field, it seems like you still might have some unfinished business.
Yeah, I still feel really good. And that's one thing that, probably made it harder as I was going through these workouts this offseason. My body wasn't telling me, hey, maybe we should think about this for a second. Actually kind of the other way. I felt really good all last year. I only had a couple weird instances where a sore back popped up. Other than that, very thankful to be healthy and feeling good. And this offseason was the same. Bullpens and, the live BPs I was throwing, getting ready, waiting on some calls, felt really good. And, the last two lives that I've thrown have been better and better. And, definitely feel really, really good about where I'm at. I think it'll be a similar timing as spring training. I tried to keep myself as close to built up as I could. I probably threw 4 bullpens that were 50 or 60 pitches, leading up to my time signing with Baltimore. So I think pitch count was good. The intensity of what I was throwing, I was in a lot different situation. Without athletic trainers, without the full amenities of being completely ready to throw those bullpens at the intensity I would probably like to. So that's kind of what I'm building up now, is the pitch intensity with the pitch count. I think I have one more live down here in Sarasota, and then see where these next 3 or 4 starts, hopefully in Norfolk, take me. But yeah, thankfully I feel really good. And I to your unfinished business, I think I've been so fortunate, where I've been in my career, to play in the World Series and do just about everything that any little kid dreams of, and I still have a lot of fun playing the game. And I do think that, we had a really special team in 23. And I would like to, have another crack at that with these guys and see what we can do and make some noise. But I will say that I don't necessarily think that, that was the reason to come to Baltimore, right? Is to try and, relive 23. I think for me, it was just a really good opportunity to play again and be with a team that is a real World Series contender.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, I think the unfinished business, it's not, I guess, in people in Baltimore, I mean, look, everyone wants to see the team win. But it's also, I guess, they look at with you being a part of a group where they felt like the tides changed. You were helping part of that position here. And I think that's the cool thing of having you come back and see where this can lead. Now, I got to be honest, Kyle, you're walking in, things might be changed. The Homer hose might not be a thing. I don't know what's happening. Pedo bats left and right. Before I wrap it up here, am I crazy that I know that they're changing the bats, but there have been so many different type of bats. Have you been following any of this specifically?
Oh yeah. I think Bryson Stott of the Phillies laid it out really well in his interview. It was either yesterday or the day before. There's a reason why guys swing different bats, right? Like, some guys like it top heavy. Some guys we've got Goldie now with the Yankees and other guys swinging the hockey puck, right? Like expand the knob of the bat to get, a half an ounce or an ounce of lumber underneath the hinge point of your hands and, see how that feels. There's a reason why those modifications are probably swing dependent. And, I thought Bryson laid it out really well is, depending on your swing, this torpedo bat might not be for you. I don't think this is just an automatic homer bat. And other guys have, swung this over the last couple of years. I think it's just something where innovation in any job leads to some type of being uncomfortable. And somebody has to be willing to be kind of the oddball that does it, right? In 2017, when I went to see Randy Sullivan at the Florida Baseball Armor, he gave me this yellow playground ball, as my teammates called it, that I, changed my arm action with. And I was the guy on the big league field doing my throwing drills and letting this playground ball roll all over the place, right? But for me, it probably changed the course of my career. So I think, somebody going out there with a torpedo bat, shifting the sweet spot a little bit because it's better for their swing and swing speed and, everything technical with it. It takes a little bit of courage to go out there and be the one that's a little different. But I do think, as I've talked to a couple of people, I think it exposes the end of the bat a little bit, takes away the label of the bat, maybe the ability to, we've heard people talk about getting jammed, and maybe that, expands the barrel that way. But I do think, the bat at the end becomes, kind of a liability. But I haven't swung them, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe here in a few weeks I'll get the chance to figure it out, or in AAA if somebody has one. But yeah, it's kind of a hot topic. But I do think that, other than when MLB regulated the maple, and I think there is some type of limit on the amount of barrel above the label so that you don't have the tomahawk type bat breaks flying at players. Other than that, people have been able to, shift the barrel as long as it's within the weight and length requirements.
Yeah, I was just explaining to the guys before you came on. I had two C353 models, and one ash was different than the one, maple or whatever different type of bat it was, that the actual type of wood. And then the actual density of the barrel was different from bat to bat on the same model. Right. So I'm fascinated. And also we're 6 games a week into the season. I think now, because the season's already decided after 1 week. So we should just call it a year. And these bats are metal bats. Everyone's going to have a homer hose now because there's going to be 80 home runs per player. But
there might be a little misconception, right, that every bat is created the same. And, I wouldn't blame fans for thinking that, right? Like, it's not like somebody sits down and walks them through it. People might just think, well, Adley gets his name on his bat and that's how he knows it's his bat. If you blindfolded Adley and you handed him 7 to 10 bats, Adley could probably take a swing and tell you which bat is his. Because, I mean, you know how it feels in your hand and when you swing it. An ounce of wood moving somewhere on that 33-inch bat makes a big difference. And I know it sounds crazy, but I think fans would probably be pretty fascinated to just get into the locker room or get into that bat room and pick up 7 different bats and take a swing, and they'd be like, oh, wow, that one feels top heavy. Yeah, it does. And some guys like that.
Yeah, it's way different. I mean, heck, you can get the same bat of the same model and it's your name and it's supposed to be yours, and those bats in itself could feel different. I know guys are like, This doesn't feel good. You know it. So we'll have the scientist analysis, or the analyst Kyle Gibson, to talk more about that in the future. But because I appreciate your time. Before you get out of here, one, continue doing your thing, but for one more time, for where everyone can find everything, it's at bigleagueimpact.org/allwin. Is there anything else that you'd like to say with plugging that?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that we try to do all year is we try to do giveaways to fans. So you'll see on social media, maybe at times I've done it, every time we win a road trip or we win a homestand, we'll try to give away some type of autographed item to people who have signed up. So, if there's 50 people signed up and the Orioles win, 30 series or 30 road trips and homestands, whatever it is, and we'll try to give away as many autographed items as we can. And there's a lot of cool items that you'll get if you donate at a certain level and stuff like that. So we try to make these experiences and these campaigns personal and beneficial to everybody. And I think one of the coolest things that Big League Impact is able to do is to give fans a chance to be involved in something bigger, right? Everybody in life, if we really sit down and think to our core, we want to be involved in something bigger than ourselves. And the satisfaction that gives us is very rewarding. And it's one thing that Big League Impact has done an awesome job at, is giving fans in these big league cities a chance to be a part of something bigger, whether it's $1 to the All Win campaign or $10. A food pantry can give a family a full meal each day of the weekend on $10. And I don't think people sometimes understand that. So you can be involved in something much bigger just by going to Big League Impact and diving into maybe which team and which charity you want to support. And ahead of time, we say thank you.
It's amazing. And again, it's really people helping people. And that's what it's all about here. And I can't wait for what you have cooking up. I can't wait to hear more of these things as they start to present themselves here in Baltimore, because I'm biased and I'm from the area. And also when you get revved up. So, hey, take care of yourself, and hope to get to talk to you soon, Kyle. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
Kyle Gibson, everybody. And it's just one of the many things that his reputation precedes himself. Really caring about the community. And I think that's why people gravitated so much towards Kyle. Didn't we talk about this before, about connecting a team or connecting players with the city? And when you feel that it's genuine and it's out there, that it makes everyone feel together. That's what Kyle, and with everyone with the Big League Impact, of what the goal is: inclusion. Make people feel that you can make a difference for one another. People helping people, Kevin. No way you have an idea what movie that is.
When I move, you move.
That's ludicrous.
Luda.
But hey, that was Kyle Gibson. An interesting take on not interesting, but I'm glad he dove into the torpedo.
Yeah, that was it's like you said, I'm intrigued now also by when you brought up, okay, now the end of the bat is kind of a liability.
Hey,
so now it's okay if somebody is so, okay, I'm getting jammed and I want to, bring the, good part of the wood, more wood down to below the label. All of a sudden you get, one off the end of the bat. Usually that would be maybe a trickler over the shortstop, something like that you get a hold of. Now maybe that's just a weak ground ball. Now maybe that's so, didn't really think about that. I don't think fans are thinking about that when they see these torpedo bats and they're like, oh, so this is a cheat code. It now puts where their sweet spot is differently. Then pitchers will figure out, what guys have what. And I think they're going to start to see more guys kind of get, I don't want to say exposed with it, but it'll be interesting to see that it's just a chess match. It's pitching and hitting's always been a chess match, and this just adds to it.
And we're also 5 to 6 games into the season. Like I know with Adley has been one of the best opening day players ever. Torpedo bat or not, Kevin. It'd be different if you went up to the plate and you actually hit a ball out of the infield.
Might have to do some investigating if that.
Then we're going to have to investigate for you for steroids. It might have been the squats that you just
could.
Kevin.
They're powerful.
They are powerful. And hey, if you're new to the channel, it's powerful. Hitting that like and subscribe button for the channel here. Woo! Ryan Ripken Show. We do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're an Orioles fan and you want to continue the action after the game's end, head on over to our other Ryan Ripken Media show, Kevin and Zach Reacts. They react to every post game that the Orioles play.
All 162.
All 162. Beautiful. And guys, that was great. Good stuff. Wild first week of baseball here as we kind of talk about it. And maybe that's where we go into next. We'll talk about that Maryland, Kevin, is Buzz Williams is going to be the coach of the Terps. Oh, and by the way, sprinkled in there, John Harbaugh got an extension for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, hey, you know what? I'm a fan of. But I know other people always think that there's another better option out there. But of all this, guys, Major League Baseball is 1 weekend. We have some winless teams. We have some teams that are struggling. We saw the Sacramento A's played their first game in their new ballpark. Have you guys seen their press conference setup?
No,
Sadly.
You have seen it?
I have seen it.
Well, Zach, according to Ben Ross here, I'm going to pull this up. It is, this is their press room out there at the SAC. Can you see this? Is it popping up?
it is right now. Oh,
Welcome to the Shack at the SAC.
oh,
Gets a little tight in there.
that. I don't know what to say. What?
So that is where they are playing games. And then for the A's right now, look, they opened up their ballpark. We saw that the Tampa Bay Rays are playing at Steinbrenner Field, home of the Yankees spring training. We're seeing all different looks here. Plus, we have the torpedo bats. But guys, on top of it, baseball has happened. Baseball is going on here. And actually, a guy that's going to join us here in about 5 minutes, the stories. The Padres are off to the best start that they've been off to. And I think the big reason why is because of Gavin Sheets, but I am biased to the situation. What else has been going on, Zach, in your eyes, since it's a good time? Is there anything that caught your eye on the internet from this past weekend?
Yeah, well,
of
this
baseball?
actually just came up today because it is April Fool's. And Major League Baseball posted this. One, making fun of themselves because everyone just says all they do is post Ohtani. So they posted this and it was pissing way too many people off. And so they said new hype video for Ohtani just dropped. And they've got that hair sitting over top of it. Do you see in the middle of the screen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's an actual, that's not on my screen?
No, that is a hair. And it is making people so mad in the comments because one half of them don't even realize that the hair is there. And so they just think it's a Ohtani video, hype video. And then the other half of the comments are saying some mean things about Major League Baseball admin for posting this and making them wipe their screen like 7 times. So this is the funny things people are getting upset about on the internet today, because if you post anything, if Shohei Ohtani is ever posted, they say that's all that baseball talks about. Also, the White Sox are 2-2, so don't let them get hot.
They would be undefeated if they had a certain holy sheets and pants, out there, as the Padres are undefeated. But hey, this is the part of the season. How about that? The Braves are 0-5. The Brewers are 0-4. Who just got throttled then by the Royals. The Twins have scored 6 runs in 4 games. They are 0-4. The Red Sox, and we'll talk about Rafael Devers. I'm actually going to have that breakdown for tomorrow now of Rafi Devers really struggling. And there's that mental side and the obviously mechanical, but mentally in a different position. So many different storylines, man. So many different storylines here. And I wouldn't say anything surprising. I would say the Braves being 0-5, that stings. And they've been a little bit banged up. But if the Padres are undefeated, how about the Dodgers? I guess that was expected, not to lose a game.
Honestly, although I feel like the big thing for the Dodgers right now is the Roki crying videos, which people are once again upset about because people can never just have normal reactions to anything. So they see, for sure. And it's just it. You gotta love the internet.
Well, the internet's always right.
Always right.
No overreactions.
No overreactions. Ball players, they should get a hit every time. If they lose, it's a disgrace.
Trade everybody.
And if you do that, then you will have success. If you have nobody on your team and no one can hit, you'll win more games.
Can't give up runs if you don't send any players out there.
Yep. No matter, Brian, don't say that too loud.
Yeah, no, don't say it too loud.
I think I can't make that joke around Baltimore of saying we should trade somebody. A lot of injuries, but we just saw that the Orioles are going to have reinforcements coming soon. Kyle Gibson, you just heard, he's going to make some Norfolk rehab starts. I mean, he kind of hinted at that. Not hinted, he legit said that.
Said it.
So he's going to be making his way back. We don't know the timetable for Grayson Rodriguez. We don't know the timetable for Colton Cowser, roughly saying 6 to 8 weeks, but I would say at least 6 weeks. Depends on the severity of how the surgery goes. So we're going to figure some things out. But in the meantime, we can talk about what we do know. And that is that the Padres are kind of a wagon right now. 5 in a row to start the season. And some people are saying it's because of this one signing that they had this offseason. And that's just been the hot thing around Major League Baseball. It's a friend of the show, friend of the program. Almost as good looking as Ryan Ripken. Let's bring on Gavin Sheets. Gavin.
Man, that's an all-time welcome right there.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, are we really going to question this? You see this hairline?
I see it. It's getting better and better each day.
By better, you mean yes. Hey, bud, how's San Diego?
Closer to your dad's each day.
That's messed up.
Oh, it's great. I had to. No, San Diego's incredible. The weather, the fans, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, couldn't have asked for a better start. Kind of pretty selfish of you then, specifically. You open up your career as a Padre with a jack to dead center. You guys come back and keep winning games. It just looks like a team that is actually how you guys are playing on the field is exactly how it looks off of it. Looks like you guys like each other. It's like how I almost like Kevin in the studio.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but talk to me.
Yeah, it was obviously coming into a new organization for the first time. I didn't know what to expect. Got in spring training, obviously this kind of those jitters, those first day jitters, meeting in, and man, but within like 2 days, I felt like I had been there my whole career. Just the way the guys came in, right around me, and the coaching staff and everybody. It was pretty cool to see, and now you get in this clubhouse and you just see the insides of it, and the way these guys rally around each other and love each other, and just the fun that we're having is speaks for itself with the record.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have fun, right? It's all about having fun, Gav. It's what it's all about. And we'll say this.
That's what it's all about.
What? It's what it's all about, Gav. I still get giddy over the fact that you hit a ball to dead center. You know the last time you hit a ball out to dead center?
I'm going to say it was probably 21 in the playoffs.
2021 to dead center by itself. That is correct. In 2023, you went kind of right center. You tempted, but 2021 was the first one you actually had dead center. Proud of you, man. Hey, what's been a big thing?
Yeah, I teased it in 23. Yeah,
you teased it. You teased it a little bit. What's been a big thing for you? Was it a reset for you? Because let's just face it. I know you and I, we talk about this all the time. It's a great opportunity to be in the big leagues. It's a great opportunity to go out there and play, but it is hard to continue to go out and try to have success when the team is having struggles. It's human nature. You know, we've seen it a ton here. What was maybe your biggest adjustment for the offseason as you were trying to reset? Because you really, honestly, I talked to you about it. You didn't know what your future held when you were waiting to figure out where you're going.
Yeah, it was, for the first time in my career, there was a little uncertainty of where I was going to be. What, was I going back to AAA? Was I getting a big league job? Was I, what the future was looking like for me? So obviously it was kind of reflection time, look in the mirror, what I needed to adjust, what I needed to change as a hitter, get back to being a presence at the plate, getting that confidence back. And then, when I talked to San Diego, it just felt like a really good fit. A lot of familiarity with Victor Rodriguez, and our dads, they all played together. They my dad and him were roommates, and that's our hitting coach now. And got to talk to Schulte a little bit, and just the similarities of him and Tony La Russa, and it was a place that I felt comfortable right off the bat. And getting into spring and making the adjustments with the guys here, and getting around some new minds, and obviously just seeing those adjustments translate straight to the game in spring training was huge, and now it's carrying over into the season so far.
Yeah, damn right it is. I mean, right now, if I'm not mistaken, for the Pods and for you, you are the only team that's undefeated besides the Yanks and the Dodgers. How about that? Well, the Dodgers are supposed to be the Monstars. The Yankees have the torpedo bats, Gav. What are you still swinging the same model, or we switch it up?
I'm still swinging the same model. This torpedo thing's going crazy right now, obviously. I don't know how I feel, but we don't have anybody on our clubhouse swinging it yet. It's not really a new thing. Guys were swinging it last year, but obviously the series that the Yankees had, obviously it's getting blown out of proportion a little bit. But yeah, I think there's something to them. I think there's something to it, but opening day, the Yankees were using torpedo bats and they didn't homer or something, and no one talked about them. And they all homered on one day, and torpedo bats are getting talked about. And so I don't know what I make of that yet. I haven't got my hands on them yet. I think Louisville might be sending me some just to tinker with. But I think it's just a product of a really good game. And
Don't you change anything. I swear.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with this right now, but there might be something to it, but I just think it's a product of a really good game for the Yankees. And, guys all across the league have been using it before the Yankees. So I just think it's guys swinging the bat well, regardless of what they put in their hands.
Yeah, and it's also, again, we just had Kyle Gibson on here to talk. We're catching up with him, and he's got big league impact that they're doing and throughout all the communities, but specifically then him coming back to Baltimore. But he talked about everyone having different shapes and sizes and weights. And it's also my point, 5 to 6 games in. Let's see if this actually becomes a thing for the rest of the 156 games that we have, because the pitchers are still pretty damn good. Zach, you got a question for good old Gav?
Yeah, so Gavin, you talked a little earlier about how easy it was to adjust in San Diego and everything. When you got there, obviously going through spring, unsure of, okay, what are you going to make the team out of camp? What's going through? How did you, keep yourself every day just focused on, okay, this day at a time? What was kind of going through your head? Are you trying to think about, what's on the line? Or are you trying to just stay in your own lane and do what you can control?
Yeah, it was hard. There's that fine balance of, when I got in there, I wanted to make changes, and I wanted to make changes to my swing. I knew in the long term were going to benefit me, but I started in spring like 2 for 17 because I was trying to make these changes. And the really nice thing about it was how welcoming the organization was, and just being like, look, we know the changes you're making. Don't worry about results right now. Like, we know in the long run that this is what's going to be better for you. And without that communication, I probably would have jumped ship and started chasing results to make the team. But just having their support behind me and being like, look, we know these changes are what's going to take you to the next level. Like, don't worry about being 2 for 17 and making the team right now. Like, let's just keep focusing on these changes and let's make this. And in the long term, it's going to benefit you. So just having that reassurance and being able to, because I was having, 4 really good hours of work, and then I'd go into the game and go 0 for 1 or 0 for 2, and you just go home and you're like, oh my gosh, like this day's wasted. But just to have them behind me like that and just trusting it, and then obviously results started to come, and it just benefited me making those changes.
Yeah, you got to have a belief in what you're doing, and the only time you can practice that is when you actually face another guy on another team in an actual game, and it's not going to click automatically. Like, you can be in the cage. Great question, by the way, Zach. Great answer too, Gav. You have to, 1, put in the work, and then 2, you have to then trust the fact that it's going to take time to figure it out. It doesn't just come instantly. I wish it did. I think just someone who came in the studio just said you can't take shortcuts to success. You got to kind of go through the ups and downs and figure out what works. You're figuring out what works, but there's going to be that grace period. 17 at bats also to get things going. Sometimes it can take guys 30, 40, 50, or could take 100, or you never figure it out. Guilty. But I digress with that. Kev, you got a question for good old Gav?
I do. Gavin, it's my job to ask the important questions on this show. So I'm going to ask you the most important one. What is your most embarrassing Ryan Ripken story that you can share with everybody?
Whoa.
Man, I wish I was prepared for this one.
There's none.
Oh, gosh.
To be embarrassed about. See this? See this right now?
I don't know what I can think of on the spot like that.
You can think of.
I don't feel like I have anything great.
Because there's nothing.
You're squeaky clean.
There's nothing bad about me. I mean, if you want to know about this,
not squeaky clean. Let's be clear. Like, there's nothing squeaky clean about him. But I wish I had some time to think of a story where I could really put together some stuff on him, because we go back a long time, and obviously he bullied me as a kid coming up in freshman year. He was the upperclassman, and liked to assert his dominance. And as you can see with those glasses right there, just there's nothing squeaky clean about this guy. But he helped mold me into the guy I am today. There's no doubt.
I just heard that last part. Mold him into the guy he is today. There is some squeaky Dirty Dan type of guy. Goodness gracious, man. I will kick your ass in basketball. That's a dog training plus. This is a silly question. Who wins in a one-on-one matchup? I
can't even deny that. Yeah, I can't deny that. We had good pickup days, and I don't count my high school days playing basketball as the start of my career. I kind of count more the pickup days afterwards when I became an athlete. But no, Ryan takes his pickup very seriously. He'll stop the game, midway through. If he thinks it's a sloppy pickup game, he'll stop and he'll yell at 30-year-olds to tell him to clean it up, or he's closing the gym. So I heard his dad was the same way. But man, when you get a yelling from Ryan Ripken on a Tuesday night in a pickup game, there's nothing better.
I expect.
Am I wrong?
I expect excellence on and off the court. Hey, I am a nice guy. Okay, I am a nice guy. However, if we're playing on the same team and I think it's, I think it's just dog shit, I am going to say something. That's just how I am. And if I'm playing like crap, then I will also be pissed, and I will.
And if we're playing to 11, if the game's to 11 and the other team's up 10-7, he will not pass the ball until that game is done. I promise you. There's no shot until he has a chance to tie the game up.
Whoa. See, now I disagree with that. If I feel like I got to win it, then I will. But I've always been for the greater good of the team here. I've always been. So I got to check that. Yeah, I think I can, with the ball in my hands, I can make a final play. I digress. See, how do we get to this, Kevin?
Yes, you asked. This is an important question, Ryan.
Oh,
I feel like there's stuff about you we don't know that Gavin might. That maybe could come to light one day.
I would say of the tempers, we have another friend, Kev. You met Matt. You've met our friend Matt. He's an emotional player. Of our group here. If it was me, Gavin, and Matt, I would say Matt would win.
The great trio.
The great trio. Psycho T.
Trio.
We are getting the wrong opinion on Ryan as a player. I facilitate, and then I will make shots. See, now we're having this thing that Ryan's a diva. Now look what you've created. This is not the case.
The truth comes out.
This is okay.
There's truth to it.
There's no truth to it. Hey, Gav, before I let you get out of here, I got a couple questions. We were talking about a bunch of minor league stories, man. We've had the old school minor league stories with some of the players before our time have dealt with. You and I came up in a time before they changed some of the regulations, so to speak. Do you have any minor league story that stands out to you? We had Ben Verlander on, about a week or so ago, Zach?
Yeah.
And we were talking about good old Vermont and not being able to shower in the clubhouse, or the clubhouse just had dirt on the ground. The home clubhouse burnt down. You got any minor league stories that stick out to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Kannapolis, the last year of Kannapolis' old stadium. We got back from a road trip. I don't know where we were. We get back to the clubhouse the next day. We come in, smells like smoke. We don't know what's going on. All of our lockers are cleared out. There's a fire in the clubhouse. The laundry, the dryer caught on fire. Everybody's loop was, they took all the clothes, all the loops, and just spread them throughout the weight room, which was another building. Just single pieces of clothes all throughout the thing laid out, and it was kind of like a free for all. Guys were showing up the next day, and in some of my shirts, I was showing up in some other guys. Like, it was just the smell and just the free for all going on. I mean, it was almost like a yard sale, and guys were just picking up stuff throughout the throughout the weight room. And I remember some guys used to clean keep the bugs that were in the shower, and they put them in those big cheese puff bins. So they would take those out, put like leaves and sticks and stuff in there, and they would keep the bugs they found in our shower. Yeah, so that was like our own little petting zoo, for saying the cheese puffs bin. So a lot of stuff from Lohe that you'll just never quite forget.
See, those are what that builds character. It really does. And
Builds
also
character.
they built a new stadium, and it's great. I can't say that I had the fondest memories of the oldest ballpark. I hit a grand slam there once. I had 2 grand slams in my career.
Tough place to hit. Big ballpark.
Tough place to hit, man. You kidding me? That's just where your dreams went to die. I had a lot of those ballparks. That year, I actually hit 3 on the road, hit 195 in Delmarva, 195 at home, 3-on-3 on the road. Be curious what my splits were at Kannapolis. Hey, Gav, anything else that's on your mind before I let you go?
No, it's always a pleasure to come in and talk to you guys and see you. I know the way you are with text messages, sometimes it's better to come in here and, see you face to face and get quicker responses. But no, it's been good to see all you guys today.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been
Gavin.
a pleasure.
I immediately regret my PR reaching out to you in the first place.
Yes, this will be my last time seeing you guys, but it's been fun.
Yeah. All right. Go get ready for
we got Gilman, we got friends, we got Loyal all in here right now.
Yeah, wow. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it actually
Man.
no school mattered because they're both.
Well, yeah, but now there's a Gilman. There's
2 going.
2 Gilman.
2 Gilman, a fighting Quaker,
Roll on, baby.
and a Don. That's great. Well, Gavin, it's great to see you, man. Thanks.
Good to see you
Yeah,
guys.
good luck. Go have fun, man. Yeah, the Baltimore. Oh, yeah, you got another Maryland guy there. Jackson Merrill's a Maryland guy.
Yeah.
It's just it's
Jackson
it's
Merrill,
Maryland.
another Baltimore guy.
Just that's
Trying to take over the West Coast.
That's what it is.
Bring all the old Bay over.
One player at a time. Well, Gavin, go do your thing, bud. You're a good kid. And we'll start to get the Holy Sheets and Pants shirts going.
Oh,
Ooh.
was that on the spot?
Oh man, you're onto
Get some
something.
Pants. Holy Sheets and Pants. I'll put it in the mail for you.
I love it. I'll be wearing it.
Okay. See you, buddy. You're a good kid. Thanks,
Appreciate
Gav.
you, Gavin.
Gavin
Awesome.
Sheets, everybody. Get
All
off of my
right.
screen. God, you know what? I really should have thought about that before having him come on. The roast and Kevin. You know what?
That's what I'm here for.
You are here for that.
I'm just glad Rocco wasn't in here to ask Gavin what he's been doing right so far.
Yeah.
Hey, Gavin, you've been hitting the cover off the ball. What have you been thinking about
Specifically.
what have you been thinking about on the mat or in the batter's box? Can you break down? Where's your hand placement?
I know.
Oh,
I escaped that with
goodness.
Heston. I escaped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can count on
Okay.
Rocco for helping to, and then Heston went over that night. So
Yeah.
thank goodness. We know we're trying to protect our guy. But Gavin, what I love about him, besides that I've known him since he was a kid, and we were both kids, but 2 years older, I'm the grown-up of the group. But his work ethic is unmatched, and a guy that was waiting for an opportunity in the offseason. And you're sitting and waiting over and over. And he signed right before camp opened for the Padres. And he's sitting there waiting. And he had to go out. He was one of the guys when we talk about spring trainings where you have to go have a good spring training. And the fact that they say, hey, we're trusting what you're doing. We're going to give you a grace period to continue to do that. And once that clicked, had a phenomenal spring the last 2 weeks, and he's carried it over to the season and has been a huge part of why the Padres are off to a great start. He's done a fantastic job. And if you're not a Gavin Sheets fan, then I don't know what to tell you. Then you're not going to get a Holy Sheets and Pants shirt when it comes out. But if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right here on YouTube and X. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. It has been a phenomenal start to the season, and we're just getting going, guys. And while we're just getting going, why don't we take a trip and get going up to our friends at Hollywood Casino Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Yeah, Kevin, say it like you mean
Now
it.
I can do it in person.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? We saw last week that if you bet on Tyler O'Neill for home runs, you were in a great spot. Guess who didn't do that?
I did not. It was I should have. That was a lot of point, but
Yeah. Missed out on
I
free money.
literally said on the thing, I was like, I'm going to regret it. I literally said on the thing, I'm going to regret it. So I do.
That you did.
Do you want to take another chance tonight on somebody? Are you feeling
Oh,
frisky, my friend?
I was actually just looking at stuff. Before we
Well, you can give you a second to do that. The Orioles are obviously they're off tonight. They use the day after openers that are outdoors because you probably saw the Blue Jays and Orioles. There are 4 straight games. It's a dome. You're going to play. Outdoors, they have a grace period of a day in case there's a rain out. So the Orioles are off tonight. No game. And Zach currently is 0 for 1 on dinger cards, but maybe he can change it up.
it actually
for
sucks
tonight.
because I've hit. That's the only one I haven't taken. I bet on Bellinger and Soto so far, and they've both hit. It's just
You didn't say it on here.
I know,
it
so
didn't
that's why
happen.
it sucks. You know, the times I go off on a limb and I'm like Ryan Mountcastle. That's when he doesn't do anything. I'm gonna go get on the right track. Yordan Alvarez. He's only got 1 hit so far on the year, but he's very good. Has a very good career against Logan Webb. So maybe
You putting a dinger card on it?
yeah, but Yordan Alvarez. Let's make it happen.
Yordan Alvarez, and we'll see what happens. And hey, if you guys are new to ESPN Bet, by the way, they have a promotion: $10 that you put down, you get $100 in bonus bets on top of that. That offer's good through the rest of the month of April. So we appreciate our friends at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Nice. Woo. Look at
Boom.
us.
Boom, boom, boom.
Look at us, Kev. Hey, so what other news do we have that's kind of rumbling and stumbling? I'll get into a little breakdown here in a second. I think, guys, we have a new rule that came out with football, or a proposal that just might put the end to wrong measurements. Did you guys just see that?
Yeah, let me see.
The NFL is getting rid of the chain gang.
Yeah,
How about that? The NFL is moving on from the chain gang. If we can pull up that tweet, do you have that, Zach?
yeah, NFL on ESPN.
You got it. When we pull that up, that is a big one. That is a big one here at the moment. And right there, breaking the method for measuring first downs, the NFL will switch from chain gangs to camera-based technology in 2025. The traditional chain crew will remain on the sidelines in a secondary capacity. Kind of feels different. Kind of feels naked in that sense. But we want to get the calls right, Kev, right? And I'm sure Buffalo fans in the playoffs against the Chiefs would have loved to get that call right.
Yeah.
But I am a traditionalist. You guys weren't old enough yet to remember the chain gang fans that were at the Raven Stadium. Do you guys not remember these?
What year was that?
So if you have to ask that question, then you're not going to remember. It was these guys that would put on construction hats and orange gloves, and they would go to M&T Bank, and they'd be in one of the front rows. And every time the Ravens got a first down, they would get the whole section up, and they would literally move the chains.
First down.
Move those chains. Move those chains. Move those chains. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I'm not sad. I'm just a little bit disappointed. While Kevin looks it up, I do think it's the right move from a league standpoint, right? Just like when we're talking about with the game, I love the traditional components, but when games are on the line and you have to go to a measurement, and if you have a better way to have a proper measurement, you want to do that. Because then when it becomes a objective call, we get in situations that you have the what ifs. And in Buffalo's case right now, that 4th and 1 was a massive call. Does it mean the game's going to be won by the Bills? No. But does it matter? Yes. So I'm curious how that's going to be moving forward. I'm sure there's going to be some trial and error, but I am excited to see what is happening next.
It's just going to be one of those things where I feel like we're going to know it's going to be under a microscope for like the first 3 weeks. And
is it actually real though? I feel like it could be fake.
No, I did.
No,
I was
that's
looking.
real.
Yeah, I was going to say I've seen a few.
Is it actually real? Because this would be a great day to pull one off. It really would.
No,
just like Buzz Williams coming to the Terps. Is that real?
Yeah.
Could be a good time to pull this off.
No, I'm seeing it enough from enough different. Okay, yeah. Unless everyone is involved in this April Fool's joke, which would be hilarious. I think we're good.
Okay. All right. So yes, just wanted to make sure on that. Sorry, Zach. Got a little nervous.
Yeah, no, I had to as well. When I took it off the screen, I went and checked.
Mr. Puppy got a little nervous. Ollie is in studio, voted best studio pup for the 2nd straight year, Kevin.
Yeah.
We're excited about having
prestigious award.
And while we're on football at this moment, should we just talk briefly about John Harbaugh extended? Kev?
Sure.
Staying in Baltimore? Hey, Kev, you know what? Are you a little tired from the workout earlier? You seem a little down.
I'm tired from a lot.
Oh,
but you power through.
So you're not tired from the weights that we had you pick up.
No, I was never tired. I could have done 85 more squats. Don't quote me on that, though.
Yeah, that you don't want
to say. You say 85 more?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't say that, Kevin.
I can do it. There's a 10-pound big thing in the back there. I could do 100 of those.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
We might be doing that from now on. We might be doing 85. But before you do 85, John Harbaugh gets extended. I know people want to look at the grass is always greener, or they want to see what else is out there. John has been a staple, and the Ravens have been a stable organization. The only thing that they don't have on the mantle in the last 12 years is just going back to the big one, going back to the bowl.
Right. And I mean, when you have Lamar Jackson, when you have the team the Ravens have, that's what the ultimate goal is. I mean, it's Super Bowl or bust, and it should be. Lamar's going to be 30 in a couple of years, which is crazy to even say. He'll be 29 by the time the season ends this upcoming year. But I think when you talk about John Harbaugh, this extension doesn't change too much for me just in terms of expectations. The expectation, 1, still should be a Super Bowl. And 2, it feels like regardless, yes, the extension adds security to John Harbaugh's job. But at the same time, I'm sure that if it's not the right fit, Steve Bisciotti, Eric DeCosta, whoever, they'd have no problem moving off of him if that is what it took for the Ravens to get over that hump. And so if you have another disappointing year, and by that, I would probably define that as divisional round or below, you don't make it past there, serious conversations probably have to be had, because while I still think John Harbaugh's a good coach, obviously he's a great regular season coach. He's transformed himself into a player's coach. His players want to fight for him, go to battle with him. Sometimes things just run their course. We've seen it across all sports, all leagues. And so while there'd be 27, 28 teams lining up out the door for John Harbaugh, if he were to be let go, he still brings a lot to the table for Baltimore. Every coach has their faults. I just feel like for John Harbaugh, his faults can be loud. And while I know a lot of people blame a lot of the playoff losses on him, I don't blame this past one on him. I mean, I think that was more execution from the players. There wasn't anything that stood out for me about Harbaugh on that loss to Buffalo that I say, oh, this was John Harbaugh. 2023 and 2019, we can have a different conversation. Mm-hmm. But again, Harbaugh, to me, he's going to get paid. Aaron Rappaport saying that his extension is going to surpass his brother Jim. So that puts him at least at 16.5 or right above 16 million per season. Mm-hmm. Which he was making, I think I don't think the numbers are ever officially released, but it was like right around 12 million per year initially with this other deal. So it made sense to me. The Ravens don't like going into the year with a lame duck head coach. It was a move that's expected, but doesn't change a ton.
Well, and I think everyone wants that kind of splash. They want to have, they really just want wins, right? The people just want to see victories.
They want postseason success.
And that's the reality. And actually, that's just the theme for Baltimore sports at this point, right? It's, can you win then the next game? But you do also in the process might take for granted what it takes to get to those games. So it's a catch-22 because every other team, like we talked about with Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, all those coaches, a lot of the organizations around the National Football League would jump at the opportunity, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, the goal is can you win that next game? So that's why this conversation keeps going up. If the Ravens had been to one Super Bowl in the last 12 years, have they just broken through after they were hosting the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, we'd have a different approach to how this is, but I'm excited for him to be back. So that's a little bit of us here on the day of sports and football. And Alan, hey, look, yeah, I mean, hey, it's not locked on. Kevin's locked on Ravens all the time. But we just saw some football headlines, so it was a good time to talk about it briefly. Most of our show has been around baseball. So again, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're talking a ton of baseball, and we've already had Kyle Gibson, Oriole pitcher, on talk about big league impact and where he is at being ready to be back in Baltimore. And then the Baltimore product, Gavin Sheets of the San Diego Padres, joined us to talk about his hot start and how the Pods look to keep it going. And then we're going to continue on with our coverage overall of baseball. And guys, actually, if you don't mind, and while we're getting this set up, was there anything else, Zach, that you had from this past weekend while I get our breakdown of Tomoyuki Sagano?
It was overall, I felt like this was a fun, we talked about obviously the big things with the Yankees going undefeated so far. Obviously the Orioles split with the Blue Jays, but overall this was just one of those fun start to the years where just, it's the little headlines like the White Sox being 2-2 is fun. The Angels being 3-1. It feels like the Mariners are exactly the same team that we thought they were going to be. And the fact that every single game you watch from them, it's their pitcher goes 6-7 innings of 2-hit, 1-run ball. And then you're like, it's tied 1-1 right now. Like, and they can't, it's no one to blame but themselves. We thought they should have gone after, more. They've lost 7-0. It's been a tough one for Mariners fans right now. So I think they are, it feels like this year has been so far at least expected by some teams, but then it's still just that fun first week of just good to see people back. Obviously it sucks Orioles injuries, but that's a whole nother topic. Kevin, you got anything?
Yeah. The first week is always fun because you do see so many overreactions, and obviously you're not going to really evaluate stuff until the first month of the year. I mean, it's great to see guys get off to hot starts. I mean, obviously from the Orioles perspective, Tyler O'Neill, who I think Baltimore still coming up with a nickname for. I don't think there's an official one yet. Tyler O'Biceps is one. Captain Biceps is another one. But like, then you also have the opposite side of that coin where for Rafi Devers, is he going to struggle and strike out every single at bat? No, you'd think he'd pick it up. So first week is always fun, is getting back in the swing of things. And, guys are reacclimating to their old teams or acclimating to their new teams. So yeah, we got a long way to go. So I'm excited. I mean, the atmosphere was awesome yesterday at Camden Yards, and there's a lot of baseball left to be played. That's Tom with do we like triceps?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Triceps. That's one of them. Tyler Hortons, Byler O'Seps. we got some good ones. Although I will always Nor will be my favorite forever. Orioles nickname. I made that one for Connor Norby for those that don't know. Nor for Connor Norby. Connor Norby. Right? It's the end of his first name and the beginning of his last name. I thought I'd come up with Slim Katie myself, but apparently someone else did before me, so I'm not going to take credit for it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. But yeah, I feel like with baseball in particular, Zach and I joked that on Kevin and Zach Reacts, we did the we did the trade thing. Oh, who's going to be on the roster come July? And we got 2 games, 2 days before we started having that conversation. I know Ryan is a little more, he wants to give it a little more time than that, but you're going to have to evaluate. And the thing that Zach and I talked about yesterday with the Orioles in particular, it's kind of going down that rabbit hole a little bit. It's really unfortunate that we're not going to be able to see this Orioles team fully whole for a pretty long time. I mean, obviously with Cowser being out 6 to 8 weeks, Gunnar is going to be back, and it sucks that it had to be this way of essentially trading out Gunnar for Cowser. But again, it's like we didn't see the Orioles whole because one, Grayson obviously is not back. And then you can even extend that conversation to like, well, when are we ever going to see him whole this season? Because Bradish is obviously working his way back. Wells is working his way back. But if you just want to talk about it from an offensive perspective, Gunnar misses the first week of the year. Cowser is going to miss, when Gunnar comes back, I guess it'll be around 5 to 7 weeks timeline at that point. So we'll see. So we're going to be in June, still not having seen this full Orioles offensive potential. Now, on the flip side of that coin, they don't need to be whole to have the offense be powerful or score a lot of runs or be successful. That's one of the big calling cards of this group is that 1 through 9, their depth, you can hit everywhere in the lineup. So you're talking about bottom of the lineup yesterday, Zach, that goes 6 for 12. Mm-hmm. And you're like, all right, well, Seti has 4 RBIs. Jackson gets on base. Ramon has been awesome to start the season. Having Colton is big. Not having him is a big blow. But, at the end of the day, the offense is going to carry the Orioles. I'd like to see them whole. But unfortunately, sports are a thing that can be run by injuries at times.
No, try the other. Awesome. Beautiful. It says
this is like Kevin's corner reincarnated right here.
Yeah, I forget.
Just talking. All right, in the chat, give me something other than I'm 12 years old to talk about, and we can talk about it. Two comments about it is too many comments about it. So what do we want? While we're figuring this out, we're trying to get the breakdown going. First new comment I see is what we're going to talk about within reason. Obviously, we're not going to get too crazy. So someone say something and we're going to talk about it, assuming it, we can actually talk about it. Cade Povich. Oh, British Raven beat Joe. Let's talk with some Cade Povich. Strikeout, Cade. I see the K instead of the C. 8 strikeouts for Cade yesterday, by the way. Only 2 walks. He threw a lot of pitches. Like, for Cade in particular, I'm not, like, this is a fine first start. He got roughed up a little bit in the second and third innings. The Orioles gave him the insurance that he needed to not necessarily snowball it. 4 runs in the first. But I thought that the big thing with Cade evolution-wise from year 1 to year 2, and obviously Ryan has broken this down, obviously, one, having the experience that he had last season, it's going to go a long way this year, where you're not coming in from scratch and starting. Cade got roughed up at times last season. Cade also had great starts last year, but coming into it, full spring training, knowing that, where is he going to slot into the rotation? Like, what's it going to be like? And I like this here from Brian here, Cade Povich. And I saw, it wasn't just, I think, British Raven had a nickname for him, and I'm trying to, yep, there he is. Yep, we got it. Cade Povich. I like it. So British Raven was first with that one. Joe coming in hot as well. But I like it where, this is what you're expecting, and this is what you want, where fully healthy, if you're going 5-man rotation, the Orioles, Cade Povich is probably not in there, at least not right now. It's subject to change, but you got Grayson, Eflin, Sagano, Morton, and Kramer. Those are your top 5 healthy, but who's to say that Cade can't sneak his way in there? And this is what we talked about last year, right? It's like, it's kind of hard to go back and talk about it because I think we were also confident that they were going to have 7 guys last year with Irvin and Wells and all them. But Cade is the exact 6th starter that you want, where he can come in a pinch. If a guy goes down, yeah, it's exactly what you want. So, are we good? You got it? No. Okay. So we're still there's the Cade conversation. Let's run through some of these. You know what? This is what I did at Hollywood Casino. Remember, for 30 minutes I was just walking around aimlessly in the casino talking about stuff. My favorite fruit is I like strawberries, I like pineapple, I like watermelon. I've become
What is this conversation?
a little more accustomed to blackberries and raspberries over the years. But actually, you want to know an underrated fruit? This is going to come out of nowhere. You ready for this? Star fruit. Star fruit is awesome. That's one of my that's one of my favorite fruits. But I guess if I had to pick, I grew up on strawberries a lot. Pineapple and watermelon, those are probably my top 3. Laura asking about the do we want to do I'll do a nugget segment right now. That'll be fun. What else am I going to talk about?
Life, love.
I talked about my favorite fruit. The Nuggets I'm not as locked in this season.
Wow.
If I'm being honest.
Wow.
I don't want to give myself expectations where the past 2 seasons, like it's been championship or bust aspirations. They lost in Game 7 last year. I know a lot of people compare Derek Queen. Something just hit right there, whatever you did.
You hear it?
No, but like right before there was a pop.
Okay. Can you hear?
One more, hold on. No. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, the Nuggets, they went too young. They went too young. They tried to build this philosophy. Project Dynasty is what, some of the Nuggets Nation calls it, where, they have Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. That's their big 4. Christian Brown is a fine 5th starter, but they've lost a lot of their championship team and they've replaced it with a lot of unproven guys. And they just don't have as deep of a bench as a lot of the other teams in the West do. So like OKC is just insanely deep. Like OKC in Cleveland is my final. I know it's, those are the 1 seeds, but like I think that truly those are the 2 best teams in the NBA. I feel like Boston could maybe make that did something. Speak. I hear.
Speak.
No, not from there.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you. It's Zach.
So we found the mic. Fantastic.
What mic is that?
The one that's currently plugged in because it's about to die.
Why isn't the other one working? This is what we deal with, but we're having a good time here. Though I'm not there. I'm right here. This is maybe where the show gets unhinged. So we're going to do a Sagano breakdown here in a moment. And Zach, you were sitting down.
So we're just charging it up?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Kevin, it's like what Avril Lavigne would say is, why do you got to go and make things so complicated? Yeah.
Or another quote that is very motivational is, he was a skater boy. He said, see you later, boy. Let me have my moment.
I'm surprised you knew that one. I'll be honest.
That's an all-time. No, come on. That's an all-time classic. That's an all-time.
We should have a day of talking about just female pop or like angsty alt rock at that time, because I'd put that all in one category.
Yeah. I mean, that's your wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, I live for it.
Yeah.
I mean, also it's not even that, but Leona Lewis, Bleeding Love. I don't care what they say. I'm in love with you. Not angsty at all. But do I like it? Mike Bauman's also a huge fan of that too.
I feel like the best moment for you at spring training was Louis Capaldi with Kowser. I feel like you ate that up.
I love the music, man. I do. I'm a big music guy, and maybe when we get more to our cocktail segments, and also, hey, shout out Deep.
Yeah, there you go. Oh,
whoa,
there you go.
Oh,
there you go.
Man, this shirt's comfortable too. Zach, how we doing over there?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All
right. Yeah, I think I'm not sure how much juice. Does it say how much juice is on the?
How much juice? It says it's got a little juice. No, it doesn't say it has a lot of juice. Can we plug in that to be closer to the breakdown?
That's what I was thinking. Is maybe even.
Can you? You either unplug the monitor, or what's the other?
No, Kevin. We're gonna try this.
And we had a lot of people tuning in. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We like to have fun here at the same time here at the Ryan Ripken Show. And yes, it's a little unscripted, but that's what happens when things don't go your way. I will say it does give us a good time that we will have some maybe top 5 songs. I know, Kevin, that's not a big thing for you, but maybe in different categories. So you can pick songs that kind of can fit your narrative.
Okay. I like that. I'm
a little terrified.
Are you
about
doing
that.
the breakdown today, Zach?
Yeah, it's gonna be me. Can we hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
Hold on, stay right there.
All right,
you are.
all
You're on
right,
screen.
go do
All
it.
right.
Go do the breakdown.
Sagano is gonna.
You know you.
Where's the pen? All right. So coming up will be Ryan Ripken with the breakdown because this is
yeah,
going so well.
Yeah,
No,
baby.
we gotta get Zach. All right.
Why is it not? This is what. Oh, but I need to.
I've learned a lot about baseball right now.
Thank you, Kevin. Here we
You're
go.
welcome.
Ryan's Ripken taking over.
Don't you have to hit play on the computer? Can you not hit it on there?
Oh, well, that'd be why.
Am I original? Am I the only one?
Yes.
Am I? He's afraid to say it.
I've said it before.
All right. If I unplug this, am I playing with fire?
Probably. You can scoot your
No,
computer
go
a
for
little
it.
more.
Hey, Kevin.
I'm just saying. You have 2 computers.
Let's see. I'm going to unplug this. So how are we doing? How's it look? Is it hanging in there?
Yep.
Hanging in.
Can you guys hear me okay still?
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, what? Oh, no. Oh, isn't this the fun part of the show? Where we get to break down some cool. There's
Yep.
a lot happening here.
So much.
Bend over to the front. Touch your toes. Get low, get low. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Let's get that box back. Nope.
Look what
I
you
don't
did,
want to
Zach.
print anything.
Look what you did.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so it wasn't a me issue.
No, it was a you issue. Where'd the box go then?
What box are you talking
There
about?
was a different box. Okay, I want to get this box off. No, I don't want to.
Try. You gotta hit one of them.
Oh gosh, no, I don't want to set up a printer.
Okay, it's going.
There we go. Voila. We're back. Yep. Yep. All right. Can you hear me, Zach?
Yep.
Can everyone see me?
Yep.
Really? You were good?
Looks like it.
Beautiful. Hey, everyone. Appreciate you joining for this breakdown. Look, I think one of the pitchers that had one of the most intriguing debuts was Tomoyuki Sagano, the 35-year-old rookie pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. We saw it firsthand here up there in Toronto. And look, it didn't go the way that maybe we had hoped lengthwise, but there was a lot of good things that we saw and a couple of things I just wanted to point out, at least what I saw from his first outing in Toronto. First things first is we know that he's a control guy, right? He's known for control. That's what his specialty is. But clearly, he was feeling nervous. You could see the excitement and sometimes the facial expressions. But how about this to start the game? A guy known for control, ball's nowhere near the strike zone on the first 2 pitches. And then eventually, it's a 4-pitch walk. 3 of the 4 nowhere near the strike zone, right? And for Sagano, something that I noticed on the game is that he's got to pitch off of his fastball, right? You set up your fastball, it makes your other off-speed pitches better. So for him, fastball to then to that splitter changeup, he does have a sweeper, but the fastball split change, that's his thing. But as you saw in this game, actually, he caught a break in this first inning. So after walking Bichette, you got Vlad Guerrero Jr. up here, and Vlad gets a good swing off here because why? You're going to see one of those split changeups not fall off the table. It's going to hang up there, and Vlad just misses hitting an absolute bomb. I mean, we are very close to that being a 2-run home run. And watch if I can get the facial expression as we get back here. Let's see. Oh, I missed it on that. I wanted to freeze it. Come on, bring it on back. There. It's kind of like, whew, almost went out right there. Next batter is Santander, and this is a 3-1 count. So he wants to try to throw this splitter again. It's going to hang out on the big part of the plate. Can you guys see that? I'll just double circle it. And again, Tony has a good swing at this, right? Lines this one down the line, but it hangs up enough, and Tyler O'Neill makes the catch, and he gets out of trouble, at least for the time being, but not in the first inning. This is actually where it continues on. Jimenez, who's swinging the bat extremely well, he's going to get one of those hanging splitters right over here with 2 outs, right? So Sagano could have been out of the inning, smokes the ball to left. And again, it goes back to, and you're going to see later on this breakdown, his fastball is going to set everything up. And I'm going to explain that in a moment. But then you're going to see a sweeper. Sweeper is going to go across, but it's just going to hang up there. And even though it's off the plate, it's not a bad location, Springer's going to be able to get to it. Yep, sticks his bat out there. Ball's going to drop. And just like that, the Blue Jays get 2 runs. Those 2-out Lightning. Now, here's an example of why I want to talk about how his fastball, to me, is the key to everything. Watch how he sets up these fastballs, especially to the left-handed hitters. We saw in the earlier breakdown I did, he likes to run this type of, how he likes to run his certain pitches. So, sorry, one more example of why his fastball is so important. Another curveball here. Again, it's going to hang up there. Jimenez is seeing that pitch extremely well, right? And he's catching a break. Same thing on this slider once again, or cutter, outside, getting very, very lucky. But this is where the bread and butter really starts for Sagano. It is that sinker, okay? And you're going to watch right here. I'm going to play it in real time. We're going to work back, okay? So look at that, dotted, okay? So Sagano in general, he feels really comfortable throwing a sinker that runs in the lefties to start and comes back over the heart of the plate. You're going to see it here, right? Comes back in. Let's see if we can get a freeze frame of when it stops. So right there, perfect. Here's the box, right? Just so you guys can see it from there. There's the box. So on the first thought right there, Jimenez might think, okay, it's early in the count. I don't have to pull the trigger here. And he's thinking, okay, going to be ball 1, and this ball is going to continue to run right on that line. Perfect pitch to Jimenez, right? Here's Tony Taters. What I love with this circumstance, again, inside, watch how much this ball runs. That's dotted, by the way. Oh, sorry, that's Jimenez. Let's get back to Tony. Here we go. Once again, there's the ball. Here's inside. And if you can have the left-handed hitters thinking that maybe it's not a good pitch to hit, they're going to take it. And that was earlier on. Tony doesn't want to swing at that. This case, it's a 3-1 count, and we all know that Tony likes to swing it, right, Kev? We've seen all the time.
Yeah.
Tony's not afraid to let it eat. So it's a fastball count. Tony's going to be aggressive. And once again, Sagano's going to pinpoint this thing inside. And even though it's even more covering part of the plate, it ties up Tony. Why? Because of where the location is. Again, that's even a better, or it's even more in than the times before. But what I want people to understand is when that movement starts, it can make left-handed hitters uncomfortable. Tony's in a good position. Shoulders in, legs up. The timing's pretty good, but the movement of the ball is throwing off Tony. So he's thinking, okay, wait a minute. I still think it's going to be 2 in, and he's going to get tied up on this swing. Pulls off of it, and there's the example. On the day, Sagano gave up 4 hits. Only 1 came off a variation of his fastball. All the other ones were those all-speed pitches, the curveballs, the sweepers, the split changeups. So watch this. This ball is going to be right down the middle. I mean, right down the middle. I'm sorry, it's lower. But look at that. That's a pretty good pitch to hit, but that's how Sagano plays. Sinker ball, throw it at the bottom part of the zone. It can be over the heart of the plate, but guess what? Ground out, and that's that. Another example here, okay? I want you to see. Sagano loves that left part of the plate. Freezing hitters. It's beautiful. This is probably a great example of why his fastball is going to be the key here, okay? This is a hitter's count again. Vlad is expecting a fastball. And Sagano's going to give him one, and it's going to be a missed pitch. You see Adley saying, hey, I want the pitch right here. I want it right there. It's going to end up being more this way. All right? I mean, it's middle. And Vlad's late on a 94, 93 mile an hour fastball. And then this next pitch, you live with this, okay? Vlad then punches an opposite field hit on a 3-2 count. You live with that. That's the only hit off of his fastball. So when you're watching Sagano here, and he's going to end his day with a high fastball here that Straw's going to end up grounding out on. Let's go back to it. High fastball, Straw's going to ground out on, and that's going to end his outing. So above all, the control wasn't his best, but the point of this whole thing is that Sagano's fastball is the key to everything. His strength is he wants to run a sinker into lefties and keep it away from righties. But if he's not going to be able to keep it away from righties, keep it low. And if he's able to execute that, then his sweeper and the splitter are going to be able to be better pitches. But when he's erratic like he was in that first inning, that's when he's going to have problems. And that's why Jimenez came through in the clutch. That's why George Springer then was able to drive in those 2 runs. But I'm really curious. Hopefully the cramps and everything's behind him, but I really was encouraged about what Sagano can do and what he's going to be doing in start number 2 here, which we'll break down here on the Ryan Ripken Show. But hey, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. You know what, Zach? Hold on. Left, right. Boom! Did you get that kick in there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That's all I have on that breakdown. Any other thoughts, concerns?
Yeah, you ended that perfect time because we were very much approaching like 0% battery on that.
Oh, battery's done?
Well, we were about to. Like, it is very red. So that was perfect timing on that. Got exactly as much time as we needed. Ain't that right, Kevin?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Kevin. I'm fired up, Kevin. Did you say do you have someone who's hitting a home run tonight?
James Wood.
Wow.
Oh, he would.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Kevin, I actually like that.
I'm just
Versus the
I'm
Blue
with
Jays?
it. I'm with it.
Barrios on the mound. He didn't have a great stuff against the O's. Maybe, Kevin. Who knows?
I'm saying.
Oh, good kids. Really good kids. And again, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We'll do breakdowns. We'll have content for the rest of the week as well. And maybe tomorrow we'll have one about Rafael Devers.
Ooh.
What I've been kind of seeing, what's been going on with him. Because Rafael has had some struggles, but I think it's not just what's happening on the field. Mentally, he's frustrated, but there is something mechanically that I think he can make an adjustment. Let's just hope for Birdland it's not him making that adjustment this week, at least the next couple of days as the Orioles and Red Sox finish up their series. Fellas, got any other thoughts right now? Concerns?
No.
5 games in. We haven't thrown the towel in officially yet. So,
Yeah,
so
right now we're back.
Yeah.
Could be over tomorrow again, but we're not sure.
Yeah, could totally be over tomorrow. Very much
Win
could
streak
be.
would be nice, or
Could be cool.
win or
Could
two
be cool.
consecutively.
Oh, for sure. No doubt about it. And look, I also, to finish out this breakdown, pleased with Sagano. Sweat probably led to that cramp, nerves. You could see it on his face. When they showed him throughout the game, he seemed like a guy that was running a little bit high. And he's a veteran and all that, but it is his first outing in the big leagues, And let's just face it, the Orioles are going to need him. One thing over the first week of time is that the starters haven't really gone deep into games, right? Besides Dean Kramer. Dean tried to battle into the 5th. I forget if he got 5 in that outing. Zach Eflin was the only one that, quote unquote, had a quality start for the Orioles, where he was fantastic for that outing. And if I look it up with Dean's outing in the first game,
he went into the 5th.
He got into the 5th and got the W.
Yeah.
That's right. So Dean and Eflin, the only two that actually went 5+ in the first outings of the rotation. Sagano pulled going into the 5th. Kate did not get in to finish the 5th inning. And Charlie Morton, the other Orioles pitcher, did not get to the 5th inning. So things to notice and see what happens. But for the Orioles, the offense comes alive. They have a good game. It's every other game. Hopefully you can change that trend here as we move to the next one. I forgot there was one thing I wanted to mention with you guys when it came to baseball, believe it or not. And maybe because we were talking about the Blue Jays, maybe that's what was coming to my mind. And we talked about Vlad Guerrero Jr. We did get a chance to sit down with Mark Shapiro, the CEO of the Blue Jays. So for those that are interested in that whole conversation, to check out the video out on YouTube right now with Mark explaining how hard it is to extend players. And I just heard Mike Elias talk about the different avenues of how they're trying to enhance their rosters, and he wouldn't go into conversations about contract talks and all that. And I'm with that. But I guess when we saw that Garrett Crochet signed that 6-year, $170 million deal, that people are going, wait a minute, why aren't the Orioles doing that?
Mm-hmm.
What Mark said, and we've tried to explain that, it's finding the compromise and that each side's going to have to take a risk. Garrett Crochet has not pitched many innings in the big leagues when you think about it. And he got a massive deal. Now, is he able to pitch to that level? The Red Sox sure hope so. But overall for his career, he has not pitched more than 224 innings.
Yeah.
For his career.
Wow.
And the Red Sox awarded him with just under $30 million a year.
That's
for the next 6 years.
That's what it takes to get an ace these days.
And he'll be 31 and hitting the market again. I think he might have an opt-out in there. I got to check it. But context matters. So for signing young players or signing players that are on your roster to extensions, you got to be willing to take certain risks. And the pitching department, there's a lot of risk. And with your position players, just face it, there's a little bit more stability, but some of the Orioles' young stars, they might bet on themselves. You know who did that, who bet on themselves and gained over $300 million, Kevin, by going to the free agent market? Just signed the largest deal last year, or this past offseason, I should say. Now with the Orioles, Major League Baseball. Who's that guy that played with one New York team and went to the other?
Oh, Juan Soto.
Oh, Kevin.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't understand your question at first.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I didn't say that the best way I could. But Juan Soto was offered, I think, over $400 million by the Nationals.
Yeah.
And he bet on himself and said, no, I'm not going to do that. That's turned down a lot of money.
Yeah.
But he said, you know what? I think I'm going to make it in the open market. I'm going to keep testing it out. So he did. Vlad Guerrero Jr., he's got to make a decision. He's going to get a lot of money if he goes to the open market. But can the Blue Jays match or get close to a number that they're comfortable with or that they think's a risk? And is Vlad saying, do I want to take that money and stay here? Or do I want to go to the next kind of highest bidder? Needless to say, the whole conversation then, Kev, longest tenured of players on specific teams, that's changed. We're not seeing guys that have played for one team for their entire career. And I think that was the part that we talked with Mark with for a long time and appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed that convo. It's the days of the Chipper Jones, even my dad, Tony Gwynn. You're not seeing that superstar player stay with one team. It looks like Aaron Judge is on pace with that for the Yankees. But any other player that's jumping out to you now that's still in the game? Right? Some of the best.
Not off the. I'm sure there are, but not off the top of my head.
Not a lot.
Salvador Perez is the only one I can think of.
Salvador
that's
Perez.
a good one.
Right? Mookie Betts traded to the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman, free agency. He would have been a Brave for life, but they made a decision. He went out to LA.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody else that fits that. And there really isn't.
Mike Trout at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Mike Trout at the moment, yeah.
And a lot of injuries for Mike Trout, unfortunately. for such a talented player. I need a healthy Mike Trout for a year, guys.
Just please.
I don't want it. I need it.
You need it.
I need it. Hi, Kevin.
That's what I.
Is that
That's what
you?
I was thinking you were gonna say next.
Hey, how you feeling for 15 more squats to close out the show?
I can do 50. I mean,
You said 85, Zach. Did I
but
hear
80,
that
80,
correctly?
85 with the 10-pound like ball thing back there.
You want the 10-pound ball instead?
Yeah.
Okay, go get the ball. And it's a good time again to bring up our sponsor, Merit Clubs. Appreciate everything that they have done. We're excited about our partnership with them moving forward. And they are allowing, guys, boom, a 30-day membership. And it's on the Ryan Ripken Show. It's on us. All you got to do is sign up. I got to go find, just had the link here, Zach. Can we pull that back up?
The link.
I found, oh, nope, missed it. While Kevin gets ready. Did I miss it?
The link from earlier.
Yeah, I just had it. There it is.
Yep.
There it is. meritclubs.com/Ryan-Ripken/. And the code is RIP25. That's it. Lowercase RIP 25. You sign up, you get 30 days, but that membership is good for 30 days up until April 15th. You got 2 whole weeks to sign up here. And we're going to have some fun things going on over there at Merit. And just like Kevin said, there's so much room for activities, but not as much room for activities than right here, Kevin. So to close out this show, we can maybe get a stretch going here.
What? Oh, okay. Stretching the arms before the squats is bold, but
So you think you can get 10, 15, 20? Oh, it's easy. Then why don't you keep it above your head and squat? 15. So you want me to explain it to you for a second? So you're going to keep the ball above your head at all times. And you're going to squat down with the ball above your head. Okay? You can't leave it on your head. Okay? Okay. Well, when are you ready to start? You ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, and up. Squat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
here we go, Kev.
15. Now you said you could do 85 total. No, it's okay. Okay, yeah, Kevin Ostreicher, everybody. Great job. Ollie, what do we think of that? But again, appreciate our friends at Merit Clubs as well. Again, meritclubs.com/Ryan-Ripken. Look, it's the place you want to be to continue on. And also, if you want to be by the pool in the summer, there's some good options. And we are going to have some fun events over there. They have so much room for activities. You won't be seeing the last of Kevin there. And it would be great to see, Zach, a progression of Kevin.
Yeah,
if we get him committed to squats.
Kevin, right now your squats make me think your knees are about to give out at any second.
What?
Your squats make me feel like when I watch you that your knees are just going to bust any moment.
I was a little worried.
I was like work.
Hey, this is what we're trying to do. We're gonna it's beach by or body by Rye for Kev.
Yeah.
Ripped with Rip.
Yeah, I like
Brought
that.
to you by Merit Clubs.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Ripped with Rip.
Ooh. And we will get Q on to break down this form at a different point in time.
No, I'm talking to Q tonight, and I'll have to tell him I'm on my squat journey.
Oh, don't worry. This clip's gonna go up here.
Okay.
And we'll send it to him. Can't wait for a response. And
Oh yeah.
when we get around to football, we will have our guy Q back in the fold here. But guys, any other thoughts as we close out this show for our Tuesday edition?
Kevin, anything? Dude, how's the knees feeling?
Feeling good. I'm feeling
Look good, feel
refreshed.
good.
Refreshed.
You're not out of breath like you were on the first
No,
one.
yeah,
though.
that
Should have had
That first one was tough, Kevin.
that was tough, and that was
yeah,
25
that I
pounds
remember
for
that 12th one. I almost fell over on the first sit.
Yes, you did.
it. Hey, ripped with rip, that bangs. We might have to get a
Put on a shirt.
holy sheets and pants.
Put on a shirt.
Ripped with rip. And you know what? Maybe I can have my alter ego. Did I ever tell you about my alter ego, Kevin, when it came to we had a school dance in high school? Did I tell you about this?
I don't
We had to
think-
promote this dance our senior year.
No.
So our senior year, this will be our final story time. Get on out of here. Senior year, the student body got to promote the dance, but we had to present it to the entire school. And so I told my group, we came together with an idea to promote, and it was 80s fitness, Kevin. That was the theme for the homecoming dance, Zach, 80s fitness. So I was the lead instructor for promoting the dance. So I put on my 80s fitness type outfit. I put on straight spandies. I had a shirt. I put on a fake mustache, and my name was Pierre. Now, I tried to do a French accent. It was not a good French accent here.
Can you do it right now?
A French accent?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it would, do it just this. I couldn't even do it. Couldn't even do it.
Wow.
But Pierre led the entire fitness class that day. And I'll tell you what is one of my prouder moments. And maybe this will come the time with merit where Pierre can make his appearance
get
yet again.
resurrected, yeah.
Pierre will be back. Don't know why he was French, but that's what worked. And it was a great way to promote. So guys, maybe we will see that here in the future.
Might have to have Pierre make an appearance.
Pierre. Ripped with Rip featuring Pierre. He didn't have a last name. He
Just Pierre.
Just Pierre.
Just Pierre.
Just Pierre.
Oui. Oui, Kevin. Oui. Shall we get out of here?
Oh, good transition.
God, our segues have been pretty good.
Yeah. Showing Zach how it's done.
Yeah. We ready, Zach? Any thoughts?
Let's do it.
Boom.
Bum, 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 bum.
As always, here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll be back for a brand new edition on Wednesday. Be good, everybody. 85 more squats for